Michael Myers has been hiding behind the mask for over 40 years, but every time it comes off, we see something wild. Sometimes he's a blank-faced kid, sometimes he's crying, sometimes he's mad ugly. So today, I'm explaining the evolution of every single time Michael's face has been revealed across 12 films and 3 different timelines. And trust me, some of these unmaskings are way more controversial than others. Halloween, 1978. Halloween, 1978. The movie opens on Halloween night 1963 with a POV shot following someone through a house in Haddonfield. We watch through their eyes as they grab a knife, walk upstairs, and brutally stab a teenage girl named Judith Myers to death. Then the camera moves outside where the killer's parents arrive home, and when they pull off the clown mask, we see 6-year-old Michael Myers standing there with a bloody knife. But here's the thing that makes this scene so disturbing. Young Michael's face is completely blank. No tears, no fear, no emotion whatsoever. Just a vacant stare, looking back at his horrified parents like he's staring at a wall instead of the people who raised him. This opening shows that Michael was pure evil from the start, not some kid who turned bad because of trauma or abuse. He was born wrong, and that empty expression becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Director John Carpenter made a choice here to show us that evil doesn't need a reason. It just exists, and it can wear the face of a normal kid. But this was just the beginning of what we'd see under that mask. Halloween, 1978. Halloween, 1978. But Michael is a full-grown adult now. 15 years after killing his sister, he escapes from Smith's Grove Sanitarium and returns to Haddonfield to stalk babysitter Laurie Strode on Halloween night. Dr. Loomis spends the entire movie trying to stop him, warning everyone that Michael is pure evil. And everything leads to a brutal fight in the Dodd house, where Laurie's fighting for her life. She's already stabbed Michael in the neck with a knitting needle and stuck a coat hanger in his eye. During their final encounter, Laurie managed to rip the mask off his face. And for just a few seconds, we see Tony Moran as adult Michael Myers. Pale skin, expressionless face, and that wounded left eye from where Laurie stabbed him was very noticeable. He looks like a completely normal guy in his 20s. No monster makeup, no deformities. He was just an ordinary man, and that's exactly what makes it terrifying. Michael's face proves that pure evil doesn't need to look monstrous. It can wear any face, and that same blank stare from when he was 6 years old is still there, showing he feels absolutely nothing about the violence he's caused. But the next one is a sequel doubled down on Michael's indestructibility in a fiery way. Halloween 2, 1981. Halloween 2, 1981. This sequel picks up immediately after the first film ends, with Michael pursuing Laurie to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. He's already been shot 6 times by Dr. Loomis and fell off a second-story balcony, but he just gets up and keeps going. The movie reveals that Laurie is actually Michael's younger sister.
That girl, that Strode girl, that's Michael Myers' sister.
Giving him a very disturbing bad motive towards his family. Throughout the film, Michael kills his way through the hospital staff while hunting Laurie. Then it takes place in an operating room where Dr. Loomis and Laurie set up a trap. They fill the room with oxygen and ether, turning it into a massive bomb. When Michael attacks, Loomis shoots the tanks and the entire room explodes in flames. Michael stumbles through the fire, his mask melting and burning against his skin, but it stays on his face, and we never see what's underneath. He collapses in the flames and apparently becomes dead. By not showing his face here, the sequel evolved Michael from a human killer into something more monstrous. Normal people don't survive 6 gunshots and being set on fire. This moment transforms Michael into an indestructible force rather than just a man, which sets up everything that follows. But little did they know that Michael was about to disappear for 7 long years. Halloween 4, 1988. Halloween 4 is all about the return of Michael Myers, 1988. After a decade in a coma, Michael Myers wakes up when he overhears that Laurie Strode died in a car accident and left behind a daughter named Jamie Lloyd.
Yeah, a niece living in his hometown.
And?
And she's too young to be his legal ward.
Something about learning he has a niece triggers him, and Michael immediately escapes during a transfer, killing the entire ambulance crew. He returns to Haddonfield targeting 9-year-old Jamie, shifting his obsession to a new generation. Dr. Loomis teams up with the police to stop him, while Jamie and her foster sister Rachel try to survive Halloween night. The movie keeps Michael's mask firmly on the entire time. During the climax, a police mob shoots Michael with rifles, and he falls backward into an abandoned mine shaft. But before he hits the bottom, the screen cuts to black. We never see his face. And honestly, that choice makes him scarier. By this point, Michael has survived gunshots, stabbings, explosions, and fire. Showing his face would humanize him, but keeping the mask on evolves him into something beyond human. He's not a man anymore. He's a walking symbol of unstoppable evil that just keeps coming back no matter how many times you kill him. But his connection to Jamie was about to get really weird. Halloween 5, 1989. Halloween 5 centers on the revenge of Michael Myers in 1989. Somehow, Michael survived that mine shaft fall and washed up in a river where a hermit found him and nursed him back back to health for a year. Now he's back hunting Jamie, and the movie introduces this psychic connection between them, where Jamie can sense when Michael's killing people. She has seizures and visions, feeling his rage telepathically. This all builds to a scene in the Myers house attic where the police have Jamie use this connection as bait. Michael shows up and corners her, but then something shocking happens. Young Jamie, desperate and terrified, reaches out to Michael and calls him Uncle.
Uncle?
He's trying to connect with him as family, and Michael stops. The camera shows his face in shadow as actor Don Shanks plays the scene, revealing Michael's wounded left eye. Then, in the most controversial moment in the entire franchise, a single tear runs down Michael's cheek. This unmasking completely changes Michael's character by suggesting he has actual emotions and some kind of family connection. He's not pure evil anymore, he's a man who can feel something, even if it's just a moment of hesitation. And honestly, this ruins what made him very terrifying. Michael worked because he was unknowable and remorseless, and this scene makes him too human. But this human moment was about to get way more complicated with curses. Halloween, 1995. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, 1995. 6 years after Halloween 5, the franchise tries to explain everything with the Cult of Thorn. Turns out there's this ancient druid curse called the Mark of Thorn that forces Michael to kill his entire bloodline. The movie opens with Jamie Lloyd, now a teenager, held captive by the cult and forced to have a baby. Michael kills her in the opening act, then spends the rest of the film hunting her infant son. Tommy Doyle, the kid Laurie babysat in the original, teams up with a retired Dr. Loomis to stop both Michael and the cult controlling him. The film gets super complicated with ritual sacrifices, rune symbols, and druids in robes, but through all of this supernatural backstory, Michael keeps his mask on the entire time. We never see his face. The focus stays on explaining why he kills rather than showing who he is underneath. By adding the Thorn curse while keeping him masked, the film evolves Michael from pure inexplicable evil into a puppet controlled by ancient magic. Most fans agree this overcomplicates what should be simple, turning a mystery into a convoluted mythology that nobody asked for. Thankfully, this weird timeline was about to get erased completely. Halloween H20, 20 years later, 1998. Halloween H20. This movie ignores Halloween 4, 5, and 6 completely. Instead, it picks up 20 years after Halloween 2. Turns out Laurie Strode faked her death, changed her name to Carrie Tate, and now lives in California working as headmistress at a private boarding school. She spent 2 decades looking over her shoulder waiting for Michael to find her. And of course, on the 20th anniversary of the original killings, he does. Michael tracks her to the school and starts killing students and staff. This time, Laurie decides to stop running and fight back. The main scene features Laurie stealing a van with Michael's body locked in the back. She drives up a mountain, and when Michael wakes up, she swerves the van, pinning him against a tree. Then she finds an axe, pulls Michael out, and decapitates him. His mask stays on the entire movie. Director Steve Miner keeps Michael's face hidden, focusing instead on Laurie's psychological trauma and her need for closure. By keeping him masked, the film evolves Michael back into Laurie's personal nightmare rather than some curse victim. He's scary again because he represents her inability to escape her past, not because of druid magic. This should have been the perfect ending to their story, but that decapitation didn't quite work out the way it should have. Halloween Resurrection, 2002. Halloween Resurrection, 2002. The movie opens with a massive retcon. Turns out Michael switched masks with a paramedic before Laurie decapitated him in H20, so she killed an innocent man. Michael tracks the real Laurie to a psychiatric facility where she's been institutionalized for murdering someone. They have a final confrontation on the hospital roof where Laurie tries to unmask him to confirm it's really Michael, but he stabs her and she falls to her death. After killing Laurie in the opening 15 minutes, Michael returns to his childhood home in Haddonfield, where a reality TV company is filming a show called Dangertainment. 6 contestants are locked in the Myers house overnight with cameras everywhere, investigating Michael's past. Michael shows up and starts killing the contestants one by one, while cameras broadcast everything online. Throughout this entire campy premise, Michael's mask stays firmly on, and we never see his face completely. The film focuses on reality TV gimmicks, internet streaming, and kung fu fight scenes with Busta Rhymes rather than anything meaningful about Michael's character. By keeping him masked in this terrible story, the movie evolves Michael into a joke. He's not a terrifying force anymore, he's just a prop for a bad reality TV plot that nobody wanted. But the franchise was about to get a complete overhaul from Rob Zombie. Halloween, 2007. Halloween, 2007. After Michael escapes Smith's Grove as an adult, he returns to Haddonfield to find his baby sister Laurie. The movie reveals their family connection early and focuses on Michael's mission to reunite with her. Near the climax, Dr. Loomis shows Laurie a photo of her biological brother. The picture shows Michael holding baby Laurie. Actor Tyler Mane appears as a massive, brutish man with visible scars across his face, looking more like a killer bodybuilder than a mysterious entity. His features are rough and intimidating, emphasizing his physical size and violent nature. Later, during the final confrontation in the Myers house, Laurie shoots Michael in the face and he falls backward. For a moment, his mask shifts and we get another clear look at his scarred, imposing face before Laurie shoots him again. These unmaskings show Michael as just another slasher villain with a sad backstory. By making his face so visible and his motivations so clear, Zombie evolves Michael from an unknowable force of evil into a fully realized character with psychology and history. And that's exactly the problem. Michael works best as a mystery, not as a case study in childhood trauma. But Zombie doubled down on this approach in the sequel, Halloween 2, 2009. Halloween 2, 2009. Rob Zombie's sequel picks up after Michael's apparent death at the end of the first remake. But of course, Michael survived and spent time as a vagrant. The movie shows Michael's face constantly throughout. Actor Tyler Mane appears unmasked in multiple scenes with long, greasy hair, a full beard, and a mustache. He looks like a homeless man living in the woods rather than the Shape. The film introduces these surreal dream sequences where Michael has visions of his dead mother and a white horse, representing his fractured psyche. He's hunting Laurie again, but now they share some kind of psychic connection through their trauma. Throughout the movie, we see Michael without his mask during kills, during quiet moments, and during his hallucinations. Then comes the most controversial moment in Halloween history. During the climax, Michael unmasks completely before stabbing Dr. Loomis. He looks directly at Loomis and speaks. Michael Myers actually says the word "die" out loud, breaking 30 years of silent terror. Die! These constant unmaskings and the decision to make Michael talk completely destroy his mystique. Zombie evolves him into a fully realized character when he works best as an unknowable force, and fans absolutely hated it. Thankfully, fans finally got what they wanted in 2018. Halloween 2018. Halloween 2018. This sequel ignores every film except the original 1978 Halloween. It's been 40 years since Michael's killing spree, and he's been locked up at Smith's Grove Sanitarium ever since. Two podcasters visit the facility to interview Michael for a true crime series about the babysitter murders. They try to provoke a reaction by showing him his original mask, hoping he'll speak or show emotion.
Say something, Michael. Say something!
The camera reveals Michael sitting across from them, now in his 60s. We see his face in profile and from the back. Actor James Jude Courtney shows Michael with short hair, deeply weathered skin, and that same wounded left eye from 1978. But we never get a full front view of his face. The shot stays intentionally partial, revealing just enough to show time has passed, but not enough to fully expose him. Michael doesn't react at all to seeing his mask, maintaining that blank stare. When Michael escapes during a transfer and returns to Haddonfield for another killing spree, his mask stays on for the rest of the film. Director David Gordon Green perfectly evolves Michael back to his roots by barely showing his face. The restraint acknowledges that 40 years have passed and aged him while keeping him terrifying through mystery rather than explanation. But the real unmasking was still 2 years away. Halloween Kills 2021. Halloween Kills 2021. This sequel picks up immediately after the 2018 film with Michael escaping the burning Strode house and continuing his rampage through Haddonfield. The town forms an angry mob led by Tommy Doyle, determined to hunt Michael down and kill him. Everything builds to a brutal confrontation where the mob corners Michael in the upstairs of the Myers house. Karen Strode, Laurie's daughter, manages to get close to Michael during the fight. In a deliberate act, she reaches up and tears the mask off his face. The camera shows Michael's face in shadow, intentionally out of focus. We see short white hair, severe scarring over his left eye, and an aged appearance that shows decades of violence etched into his features. The shot stays unclear, keeping details vague while confirming what 40 years of killing has done to him. But the unmasking doesn't stop Michael. He slaughters the entire mob anyway, killing Tommy and multiple others with brutal efficiency. Then he calmly walks downstairs where Karen is hiding. She tries to run, but Michael stabs her to death in front of the upstairs window. This reveal works perfectly because it shows Michael is barely human anymore. He's evolved through 40 years of violence into a myth-like figure who survives being burned, stabbed, beaten by an entire mob, and just keeps going. But Michael's story wasn't quite finished at Halloween Ends 2022. Halloween Ends 2022. 4 years after Halloween Kills, Michael Myers has disappeared. Turns out he's been hiding in the sewers beneath Haddonfield, weakened and deteriorated. A young man named Corey Cunningham discovers Michael's hiding spot and something changes. Michael, now an aged and weakened relic, seems to pass his evil onto Corey. When Corey steals Michael's mask, we see Michael's face clearly. Actor James Jude Courtney appears as a gaunt, skeletal figure with wisps of white hair, deep scars covering his face, and a frail appearance that's shocking compared to his previous indestructibility. He looks vulnerable, almost pathetic. Later, Michael reclaims his mask and goes after Laurie Strode one final time. Their confrontation happens in Laurie's kitchen. Laurie stabs Michael repeatedly and he finally falls. She drags his body to her garage where she straps him to a table and slits his wrists, then his throat, making sure he's actually dead this time. Then Laurie calls the entire town to witness Michael's death. They load his body into a car crusher at the junkyard. As the machine activates, we get one final look at Michael's scarred, deteriorated face before the crusher grinds him into scrap metal, destroying the body completely. These final unmaskings complete Michael's evolution from unstoppable force to vulnerable human, giving the franchise a definitive end where the man behind the mask finally dies after 44 years of terror. Now click the video on screen to see every death in Halloween movies.